Alrighty, we're going to talk about hang glider technology that I was thinking about as I was waking up on Christmas Day. That's right, Christmas Day here, December. Oh my god, I had that running the entire time. Well, anyways, that's a fucking good show today. Super! Well, anyways, so hang glider technology is a thing. And it's like, all right, so if you're gonna sit down in this like little cocoon thingy majig, and it's the same problem of every delta wing that's ever existed, where it's like the wingtip vortices are shit. So it's like if I curve this like a big old whale finny majig, off to the side, and it kind of corkscrews, sort of like the golden ratio but backwards, and then it hooks into a flat spot. So we got the top, then we got the bottom, right? But we want to curve it like that because like that's stupid. Don't do that, right? It's what they talk about. Golden ratio, not good curve. But if you look at it at the right angle, front on, it's going to look like that. So it's like whatever. So instead, you'll look like it's a good curve ratio. Doesn't matter. Point is, it's off towards the edges. It's going to curve in. The one at the bottom is really going to hook underneath, and then it's going to curve up towards this flat part, right? It's a good way to put this with my hand. Words matter here. Cowlicks are a bit of a thing people know about. Your tongue can do the thing upwards. I'm pretty sure you could do that. Right. Anyways, point is, there's two separate spots. Instead of like making it a circle like I normally do, it's just gonna curve off, and then they're gonna join towards the edge. It's kind of like a circle, but it's an elongated flat one. The one at the top is actually gonna join in from air. So that's the air current, right? That's there. That's a low pressure. But it's like the one at the bottom, I'm trying to basically keep separated and elongated, traveling along a boundary layer at the bottom. And then the one along the side at the tip is then going to curve in and join in the one at the bottom. The one at the top then stays separated away from because it's effectively opposite. So it's the one at the bottom is like, think your hand, and then it's going to curve up to where your shoulder. And then the one at the top is actually kind of the opposite. It's effectively just like, no, take your hand instead of flat palm face down, it's palm face inwards for if it's your right hand. And then it's like, no, and then shoulder is like, go fuck yourself effectively. Like, get out of here, air. I want the side air over here to go in with this bottom air. Are you kidding me? And the other ones, where it actually is, it's going to right off the bottom of that air where it goes through. And that's why it's curved in. So to like effectively allow for that air to travel outwards along the boundary layer and join in with the side air, and then it'll combine where the little top, side sort of vertical part is at the rear where shoulder blade is. So, anyways, that's a way I was thinking about it because it was like, well, I need more aerodynamic efficiency. I was like, well, if you're in a cocoon and then there's this separatory area, and then I'll just like put like a little rigid structure, and I was like, well, acoustic vibrational pumps exist. And then I'll put like a circular property wall in the rears for both sides because there's going to be a rigid part here and then the two pumps over here. They're like, why don't you just get a turbine? I don't want something that's super hot and spinning that fast near me that quickly in the morning or anything, really, truthfully. That sounds dangerous. I don't like that. Yeah. So it's like, well, the prop's over by my feet. So that'll be fine. And then now it's like shaped like it's a secondary bi-wing, effectively. And so like, yeah, no, it's a big long kind of thing, sure, but it's an acoustic pump, so that means I don't really need any blades except for the ones in the rear, which is fine. But you know what I also can do? This thing called separating air molecules with nitrogen filters. And then it's like, well, the frame is effectively a tube frame. So it's like Well, there's batteries, and this rigid part, batteries, along with like a separate inside part that's effectively uh, acetylene and a hydrofluoro or hydrosulfur carbon thingy that's a refrigerant effectively. And I was like, if I put acetylene together with this and then with nitrogen, you know what I get? Nitromethane that is effectively really good at going boom really fast. And it can store as a liquid. This is good. And then I was like, but I'm not even gonna be done yet. If you think I'm done, I'm not even done. So I'm trying to pee. Give me a second here. And anyways, I talked about this back in Chandler. This design, I guess I must have remembered it. Anyways, hi there, tech ingredients. I finally remembered the guy that I was talking about in one of my other videos. But it's like, all right, so I got a solar panel at the top that's stretchy. I got piezoelectrics. Of course, gotta get them everywhere. Gotta have the piezoelectrics everywhere, obviously. I got this cocoon thingy. Guess what? Batteries, piezoelectrics. It's got to be rigid in some places. Why not? I put a cowl over here. This is where my window is. My little HUD that, like, I basically just sort of extend, with like a rod or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like crank it and then, oh, thank goodness, blessed wind not blowing in directly into my face. Jesus, fuck, that was cold. Anyways, I separate nitrogen and oxygen with the nitrogen filter, of course, and then I'm gonna like combine it under this acoustic resonance pump. So that means I can pressurize it and then depressurize it. Here's a vacuum, I can run current, I can make it into a plasma. This one is pressurized, it's more ionic. That allows for me to create, that's right, you guessed it, a oxygen-rich plasma that happens to be separated by a nitromethane-ish fuel that's ionic that wants to be really easily turned into, along with the pressure, a really cool Lorentz and Lemke force. Which you'd have to get into it later. Point is, magneto fluid dynamic in this instance, because it's plasma. Drive, it's a pump. Still a pump. No moving real parts except acoustic movie parts go faster now. Combine towards the squeezy bell end rocket burny burn. Combustion chamber into the bell end where the props are. Now, granted, when I do that, I want it to vibrate towards the front to act like a turboprop, which ultimately gives me more vibrational, acoustic, pumpy pump, sucky suck stuff. Which is fine. I'll do that. Especially with turning McTurn thing being spinaroo pumps. Otherwise known as the prop goes spinny spin because brrr vibrations happen. Otherwise known as this is why NASA doesn't flip their shit when they try and tighten a bolt in space. That old thing. Anyways, acetylene is wonderful, like soda pop. You ever notice soda pop? Air inside of a liquid, that thing? Well, this refrigerant can sody pop acetylene in it. When nitrogen is introduced with the correct electricity, because air, douche fuck, that's probably like, that wouldn't work. It means basically it's a nitromethane. It's not really nitromethane. It's not really, because if you look at the structure of acetylene and then, that refrigerant with nitrogen, it's very similar to a nitromethane, but it's not a nitromethane. It's a nitroacetylene. but also they combine in a kind of polymerized fashion. They like to form that under pressure, and so then they'll decompose, which is like a nitric oxide, right? But it actually combines a decent amount of oxygen in itself, so it becomes a fuel oxidizer that burns like a rocket fuel, which is fun. It's not exactly going to burn as fast as like hydrogen and oxygen. I still can't beat that fucking pound for pound. You know what I mean? It's what it is, you know? Especially when it's like, well, this was shockingly not really meant for like hang glider. But this like cool hang glider, bro, with your solar panel batteries everywhere, acoustic resonance, like turbo acoustic pump prop thing that holds a bunch of fuel. What is this for? High altitude. Because of the memes here, I wanted to go at the altitude is 69,420. I wanted to do 777 miles an hour. The memes! Well, I didn't manage to go do those memes, so someone else did. I never wanted to try. It does theoretically work, by the way, like it within the context of what I have. So it's like the aerodynamic resistance is fine. I didn't get finished with the actual structure of the damn hang glider, but it's like essentially the top is a bunch of like these little stators that are right there that like create these little combining vortices along the top of the delta wing that then creates essentially a low pressure boundary layer that's always there that then stalls a little bit of this vortice and then like has it constantly go over it pretty consistently, the rest of the wind, right? And it creates a constant stall, but the wind is always able to still flow normally. When now I do sacrifice drag, okay, to do that, but at the same time, I also get way higher lift, and at higher altitudes, lift is what matters. But it was like, you want 770? Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get there. That's not the problem. These are hyper efficient acoustic resonant air pumps that then go to blowy blow, speedy spin props after bell end with rocket exhaust. I'm absolutely getting there. Turns out though, it was like, well, the theoretical max is 820.1 miles an hour. So like, have fun with that. But then it was like, but I'll do you one better because, that's me. Because I wanted to be like, oh yeah, no, I made this. Just I'm this cool guy. Just made this. It's my own personal flying vehicle. I put like a vacuum structure inside of it. It's hollow now. I put a bunch of solar panels at the top. Whole thing. It's basically a vacuum airship, but it's gonna expand and become way bigger. I'm like, I'm going to 90,000 feet in my personal fucking spacesuit I made. Which totally you can do, honestly. And then it's like, hi everybody, I'm streaming. Because like if you don't know how to do that, that's honestly not that hard. It's just a pressurized, sealed like skin, kind of thing. Anyways, moving on. Um it's like, oh, look at me. I'm at 90,000 feet streaming with my phone. I was planning on going flat top mountain from here where I'm at in Arizona. I'm in Springerville. And I was gonna go travel down to Phoenix and then like do a little updraft move and be like, behold, look at all of this steam I suddenly produce saying Xenon reality. Check out my YouTube. And then I go fly over to fucking New York. Because like I don't really need much of anything. I was gonna use my inertial acceleration, turning light into momentum with electromagnetic field radiation, kind of like Wi-Fi. But I'm gonna convert a given mass, virtual particle, which isn't really mass. Okay, so it's like it's virtual particles in kind of an entangled state that are going to travel along that field, which I've already talked about several times on my YouTube. They'll then deposit into the nitrogen and oxygen, right? accelerating them, creating nitric oxides, which will then go boom as they explosively decompress it. And from light and being converted back into energy, which is reactionary work energy, I get way more higher efficiencies. And I'm at 90,000 feet, which effectively means it's like, yes, slipstream me, baby. Give me all the juices. Meanwhile, look at my big long tube that collects my pee. I brought food and water and whatnot. This is going to be a bit of a long flight here. But still, who's going to stop the guy in the fucking blimp hang glider effectively? But it's not really a blimp, it's a rigid air structure. I'm going to move on. You know, anyways, I was like, yes, no, down there in the forest. Bombs away. Chew. Meanwhile, it's frozen. Some fucking chunk of my piss just fell on some poor unsuspecting trees or person in the forest or some shit. Those poor animals, you know. Oh, you mean people? Anyways, I was like, it's a modest 230 miles an hour at 10,000 feet is the average that most people will all fucking probably do. Or if you're like this person is like afterburner and other stuff, I'm going 900 miles an hour. Oh, jeez, okay. I don't feel like doing that. That seems dangerous. Like, even the thing I was doing is like, well, it's not that dangerous. Like, luckily, right? But it's like, it's really just because it's combined effectively just above where, it's nowhere near us effectively in the rear there where the props are. And then like that's also where the feet, rest. So that way I have like rudder control to like the yaw and all that stuff. As of ailerons, right? But then I also have like a rudder, I forget what it is, a tail thingy majig. Anyways, point is that's what that is. Some whatever malarkey name for it. It's effectively more vacuum, over here, more vacuum over there. I go more to the right, I go more to the left. Aileron, I go tilty this way, and then I start doing that, and then I start heading that way. It's effectively a bunch of like words that says more vacuum equal this direction, turny turn. Good old aerodynamics. Forces, vacuum forces, used as energy, work energy. No way. No, that's not what it is. It's not lift in one given direction as a vacuum force. No. Go fuck yourselves, you special people. Anyways, I was just gonna go all the way up really high, and it's like, look at me, I'm streaming, guys, I'm peeing on stream. You can't stop me. You can't see it. Look at my big long tube. It's just down there. Yeah, because I don't want to be anywhere near me. But if I have to poop, I'm gonna go down there. Yeah, for sure. I'm not doing this up here. It's got a little heater. Got a nice, I'm mostly just like a big freaking solar panel. It gets way more efficient the higher you go up. That's true. You know what I mean? Like, and then they got the piezoelectrics, body heat, all the little, bzzz, which nobody was like really counting that, but like aerodynamic forces are a bunch of piezoelectrics, which effectively mean it, capture that's 90% vibrations. So it's like, that's a lot more electricity than you probably thought I had. You look foolish, don't you? Especially with my acoustic resonance pump that is mechanical stress, which means electricity from piezoelectrics converted to mechanical motion, 90% efficient. If you didn't know that, now you know. So, like, whatever your blobdy blob mouthy mouth says, it was wrong. You should probably shut up while you don't want to look foolish anymore. But if you want to look foolish some more, keep talking. You know. Anyways, it goes brr. I go over to New York, a whole thing. I don't really have to worry about the time. I'm already going to be able to travel at least 300 something slipstream bullshit miles an hour. And then I'm like, I will now do even more. Let me get to the 700s with my vacuum buoyancy airship. I'm peeing! God, I need to shrink the ship a little bit. Yeah, I lost some weight there. I'm pooping! Yeah, no, I'm going down. No, I'm going down. That's not a thing. No. This is not a thing. Alright, anyways, point is, that's what I'd be doing. It's like, hi there, New York! Look at me, up very high! And now Xenon Reality, check my YouTube out. And then, oh yeah, that's me, that guy, all the way over there. Here's my stream. It's a big, long series of LED strips that just constantly show this off. Just fucking look at me, guys. Just look at me. That's right. You should definitely subscribe and like. All right, I'm leaving. I have to go take my dog out to go use the restroom. Bye. So share this for hang glider technology if you wanted it.